Okay, so for example number 9, we got this little brick breaker game. Okay, I was going to say Arkanoid, but I don't think you're allowed to say that. It's basically, you got a ball, you got a paddle, and you're trying to hit the 25 blocks that are randomly appear at the top. It's 20 points per block, 25 blocks, so 500 points will take us to the finish line. Oh, and we're hitting all the blocks. Oh, and speed it up. And then we will finish with the last two blocks, taking us to 500 points. Woohoo, we win. Okay, the website, if you need it, is scratch.mit.edu. And you start by deleting the cat. We'll grab a background in the bottom right corner, and we'll go to blue sky. Example number 9 with Scratch Mikey, that's me. We're going to move really fast. I want to see if I can finish this entire video, build the game, and play it in under 9 minutes. Okay, all the sprites we're going to use are all hand-drawn. So we're going to start with the paddle. It's a nice little purple rectangle, and we're just going to draw some lines on it, which will look cool as we move our paddle left and right. And we're going to position it at the bottom with the idea that the ball hits the paddle and then onto the bricks. Okay, so position your paddle sort of at the bottom, just above the brown area, and we are going to make the size a little smaller. There we go. Excellent. Okay, and change the sprite name to paddle. Okay, the next one. Remember, we're drawing it, so get out that paintbrush, and we're going to draw a circle. This will be the ball. And we have our purple circle. Eraser blob in the middle. There we go. And we will draw a few lines on it to make it a little fancy. Yeah, whatever. You can spend a lot of time on it, but position the size a little smaller, move it around, see that you like it, change the name of the sprite to ball, and go back to the paintbrush, start a new sprite, number 3, and this will be our brick. Okay, I'm going to make the bricks kind of this like dark green color. There we go. And we will position them in the middle of the drawing area, change the size, make it a little smaller, and we're going to grab the eraser, make little tiny 20 size eraser circles. Excellent. There we go. Yeah, and I'm going to do, take your time. I'm going to do 6 little eraser circles there. And remember, if you're copying this project from start to finish, you can always pause the video or rewind it as we're speeding through. Okay, what we're going to do now is change the direction back on the paddle. Excellent. Okay, now code. We're going to do all the code for the paddle, then all the code for the blocks, 25 blocks, and then all the code for the ball. Okay, so we got the when space is clicked, then we got a forever block, then we got 3 if-thens. We're going to add some comments to help explain. The first if-then is going to be move left. We're going to move the paddle left. It's like controls. The second if-then is going to move the paddle right. And the third if-then is going to do the bouncing of the ball. When the ball hits the paddle, it's going to go back up. That's a funny math kind of pattern there. Okay, so when you key press something, it's going to move left. When you key press something, it's going to move right. And when you touch the ball, when the paddle is touching the ball, we will have the effect. So we're going to move 10 steps for the left. So when you push the left arrow key, it's going to move 10 steps. Push the right arrow key, it's going to move 10 steps. And don't forget, you got to point to the left direction and point to the right direction. Now, pointing in the direction, you move that little angle thing around, you get to -90, and the 90 is correct for the right arrow. Excellent. Okay, and now we're going to just do a little broadcast. We're going to make a message, a new message, and the message is going to be ball hit. Okay, we're good. We have to shrink it a little bit. Okay, now at the bottom, when space key is pressed, we're going to forever block, and then an if-then, and we're going to make a new variable called points. What we're going to do here is with that new variable points, we're going to do if points equals 500, because we calculated that in total, when you get 500 points, all blocks are hit, the game's over, and we'll say, woohoo, we win. Okay, the paddle is done now for the 25 blocks. Okay, when space key is pressed, and we're going to hide the original block And then we're going to repeat 25 times, and we are going to create a clone of myself, which means the original block will hide, but there'll be 25 clones. Now, when I start as a clone, we're going to use a purple show block. Then we're going to use moving to random locations. There'll be 25 blocks randomly scattered at the top of the screen. So the X will be randomly from minus 180 to 180, and the Y will be kind of higher up from the bottom, so 30 to 160. And then we'll do a forever block, and then we'll do an if, and then with a note saying that we have a bouncing ball. So when the ball bounces off the block, what happens? Well, if this is the block. So if the block touches the ball, we are going to hide the block. Then we are going to show with our variable, we're going to change the points by 20. You get 20 points whenever the ball hits a block. Okay, and then we're going to also broadcast the ball hit message. Excellent. So the blocks are done. That's 25 blocks. Now for the ball. Okay, the ball, when space key is pressed, that starts everything in the program. We'll set the points to 0 to start the game. Now the ball will be positioned. We'll move our little angle thingy, and we'll say we're going to point in the direction minus 120. That'll send it down. And we're going to start at minus 50, and for the X and Y, 0. Okay, that's the ball coming down to the paddle to start. Then we'll have a forever block. We'll have an if-then block. Excellent. And now we're going to use the operator that says, with points, when the points are less than 500, which means the game's not over yet. You don't have 500 points till the game's over. If the points are less than 500, the game is still going. So the ball should be moving, and the ball moves by moving 10 steps now. Let's make it 11 steps. And if it's on the edge, the ball will bounce. And we have at the bottom that when I receive the message ball hit with the note, the ball has hit a block or the paddle. So if the ball hits a block or the paddle, what's going to happen is the ball's going to have to turn. And the trick here is we're going to turn 180 degrees, which means the opposite direction, and then we'll throw in a random number like 1 to 25. That'll make the game more exciting. Okay, and then we're going to move 30 steps, so it's a little boost. You turn around in a little boost and a little random angle there. Okay, we're done. That was fast. Let's play the game in full screen. Let's watch. Okay, and you don't need to hear me blabbing, so I'm going to play the music.